And we're back with a new 60HE update. I'm Calder, and this is the long-awaited DVT sample. Design, validation, test. What does that mean? That means that we test the keyboard now on all the environmental tests, FCC, CE, double check, cases, packaging, cables, switches, stabilizers, everything. Make sure that it's all complete, there's no issues, so that we can get to a mass production phase, which would be the last phase. If you've paid attention, you've looked at the timeline and you know exactly what I'm talking about. So let's focus on the DVT phase here, which starts with packaging. Now, I'm looking at it right now. It looks really awesome, and I'm not able to show you. And the reason why is that we want it to be a secret until you receive your 60HE. The names on the box, they look, but there are some things that we can modify a little bit, so maybe your name will be better on the box and will be easier to read. Now, once you open the box, the experience is also really awesome. We've tried something new. We think it's working out pretty well. Then the keyboard is packed really nicely, very tight. Best way we've packed the keyboard until so far. Definitely not going to arrive damaged at your doorstep. And then getting the keyboard out, that was a tricky thing. We designed like a pull tab to make it easy to keyboard to flip out a bit and then to grab it. But we found out the pull tab is not working as we want it to work. So we're probably going to revise that into, you can just put in your finger, get it out, or modify the pull tab so it's nicer. Small fix, will be fine. The packaging also had some slight color differentiation from what we want to see, but that can all be fixed without a problem. All the main parts are good. So then we get into the keyboard. So what is the difference between this DVT sample and my previous PVT sample? If you paid close attention, you could have seen that my PVT sample was super glossy, and that's because the etching was not onto the mold yet, which creates this anodized, sandblasted surface. This one has all the etching. It should be the final sample. This should be the keyboard that you receive, except for the PCBA icons, and including the keycaps and everything. So I checked all the exterior parts where we have here now a glossy Wooting logo, the sandblasted look surface here, our yellow feet, the sticker with which you can see that the HE logo color is a bit too orange, will be fixed. The grill, which has a bit of a gloss, and what we call the clip here, where the attachment goes into, that one has a slight gloss inside. Then inside the case itself, there is some etching on the sides to make sure that you don't see any gloss on the sides when you look closer at the keyboard, just to add those little kind of details. Everything checks out and it's exactly what we want. Then we take a closer look at the module. This is the module. This one is a bit stripped down, but we look at the module, a couple of things. First is the switch plate. Make sure that all the switch holes are where they should be. We found out on my PVT sample that one of the switches was slightly off location from the drawing, which caused the keycap to slightly hit the edge of the case. All fixed, all good, all assigned. And if you looked closely, do you see that? Do you see that? Yes, that are white stabilizers. You can see that we have some beautiful white screws as well. So now you can see that everything blends in really nicely together. The RGB lights can really pop out a bit. And when you remove the keycaps, you have this really beautiful white module in that tray. It's a really great contrast. We even, in the final one, which you cannot see here, added some white area on the PCBA. So the spacebar area even has a white background. It's gonna look so nice. So this was all approved, which makes us go into another phase, which is the PVT phase. Now, what is PVT? It's production validation tests. Production validation tests means basically we do a small mass production assembly and then see if there's still any issues when we do a bigger amount than these DVT samples. If there's any issues, we can still fix it before we go into mass production, which is the huge quantity production, which includes your order, which includes your keyboard, and we're very excited for. Now, last thing here, did you notice the cable here? Yes, that is the stretch goal cable. That is the stretch goal yellow cable. It's not the yellow we're going for, but this was the only color we could do for the DVT sample now. We actually approved a much better yellow cable, which is more accurate for the final. It will be fine. But that is the stretch goal we've all worked towards, this yellow cable here, and it's looking pretty neat with the keyboard. Together with the strap, which is looking also awesome-o. In the next update, I'm going to cover a bit more on the hard case and the leather strap, and we're going to take a look at the PCBA icons, something that I know some of you have been really looking forward to see, and I'm sure that you also want to know what you're going to see when you remove those switches and see those icons. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.